Hi there everyone, your Pyral here with some more Pokemon Platinum. Last episode, we drove Team Galactic right out of the Valley Windworks and beat Commander Mars. This episode, we're going to continue making our way to Eterna City by making it here through Route 205. And because there's no new wild Pokemon for us to find on this route, I figured I might as well take the opportunity to talk about the honey tree mechanic. I already slathered the honey on the tree in the Valley Windworks, but first, before I do anything with that, if there's any time you want to get honey, the person here in the Floroma Meadow is the person that you want to talk to. There's other ways of finding honey, but you could buy it from this guy for really cheap, and you can also buy it in bulk. It's really nice. Anyways, let's actually start talking about the honey tree mechanic. Honey trees are an interesting mechanic that makes use of time in this game. The way it works is that whenever you slather honey onto a tree, you just wait for 6 hours. You could just either save in front of a tree, go off and do something else, but after 6 hours or more, there is a chance that a Pokemon could appear. And if you don't check the tree after 24 hours have passed, then you've essentially wasted your honey and nothing will show up. Also, changing the time on your DS will not affect this in any way. But anyways, after at least 6 hours have passed and a tree is shaking, that means there's a Pokemon there. And there are a lot of Pokemon that can only be found in honey trees. So let's go over those. The first of these, well, first off, there is the fact that there is a chance that you've just wasted your honey in the first place, even after waiting for 6 hours and nothing will show up. But the first Pokemon that you can find here is Wormpole, which is essentially your indication that you've failed at finding any of the other exclusive Pokemon, because you can find Wormpole elsewhere. But other than that, in terms of the exclusive Pokemon that can only be found in honey trees, there is Burme. So Burme is an interesting Pokemon. It has 2 evolutions depending on whether you have a male or a female one. And Burme itself has an interesting gimmick as well. So whatever environment that Burme last battled in, whether it's grass, in a sandy place, or inside a building, that affects its form. If you're in a grassy area, like just regular tall grass outside, or like in a forest, Burme will have its grass cloak. If you're battling with Burme in a sandy place, inside a cave, or a rocky area, then Burme will be in its sandy cloak. And if you battle inside a building, then Burme will be in its trash cloak. This doesn't really affect Burme, but this does affect one of its evolutions, which is Wormadam. So Wormadam will take on the appearance of whichever of Burme's cloaks it had on last, and this affects its typing. So the grass cloak will be bug grass, the sandy cloak will be bug ground, I believe, or bug rock, and then the trash cloak will be bug steel. Now all of these have their own advantages and disadvantages. I would say the bug steel one would be probably the most interesting, just because it only has one weakness, although it is a big weakness to fire, but it's an interesting gimmick for a Pokemon that, in my opinion, isn't too good in battle. But Wormadam itself is pretty interesting in that regard, in that it could just be different types depending on where Burme last battled at. And Burme's other evolution is Mothim, which you can get if you have a male Burme. Whatever form for Burme you have doesn't really affect what Mothim will be, but Mothim itself is a bug flying, so it has that big weakness to rock. It has a decent special move pool, but there's other bug flying types in this game, and Mothim doesn't really do anything to stand out from them either. I'd say it's more of an average Pokemon, while Wormadam itself is the more interesting of the two just because of its gimmick. The next new Pokemon that we could find in honey trees is Combee. So Combee, if you find the male one, you don't have anything good, honestly, because male Combee can't evolve. Female Combee, though, can evolve into Vespiquen, another bug flying type. It is more on the bulky side, although again the 4 times weakness to rock is a big weakness for it, but it is pretty bulky. It learns moves to take advantage of its bulk, although it is lacking offensively and it's a bit on the slow side. Vespiquen itself, it's an interesting choice if you want yourself a bit of a bulky bug, and it can heal itself with a move called Heal Order. So, there is that. And then the next Pokemon you can find is Cherubi. Cherubi is a grass type that evolves into the Pokemon Cherum. And Cherum, its whole gimmick is that it revolves around sun. So, whenever Sunny Day is out in effect, then it will transform into its, I think it's Overcast form, I think it's called. And it'll be a little bit more powerful. It has moves to take advantage of that. It could even use moves like Weather Ball, which change type depending on the weather. It's an interesting grass type that if you want to use for the variety, I say go for it. But there's other grass types available. It is a cool gimmick, I do think, but not worth the wait for the honey trees, in my opinion. Although the next Pokemon is definitely worth waiting for if you get lucky enough to find it, and it is Heracross. Heracross is a fantastic Pokemon. It's a bug fighting type. One of its abilities is Guts, and that is one that it can take advantage of really well because it's very physically inclined. So Guts, just boosting its attack whenever it's inflicted with a status condition, just makes its attack even higher, and it just ignores the attack reduction from Burn. Heracross is just really, really powerful, has a ton of good moves at its disposal that it could use, and it learns a wide variety of moves through TMs as well, such as just some rock type moves, some ground type moves. It's a really fantastic Pokemon that if you manage to find one, go for it, use it. It's one of the better Pokemon in the game. Really fun to use. Then the next Pokemon here is Apom. Apom is a bit of an interesting Pokemon. It's one of the Pokemon that was introduced in this game. Well, not Apom itself, but it introduced the mechanic of evolving after learning a specific move. In Apom's case, it's Double Hit. So once an Apom has Double Hit and it levels up, it will evolve into the Pokemon Ambipom. And Ambipom is a really fast Pokemon. It hits decently hard. I mean, it does have the downside of being a normal type, so it can't really hit anything for stab and super effective, but it is still pretty fast. Heck, it can even use Fake Out, and one of its abilities that it can learn is Technician, which will boost the power of weaker moves with 60 base power or lower by 1.5 times. So that makes Fake Out actually a decently powerful move, because when you factor in Technician and then same type attack bonus, that does quite a bit of damage. And I believe Double Hit itself actually does get boosted by Technician as well, and that hits 2 times. So you have a really powerful move there. The Apom family itself is actually pretty interesting in that regards because of that evolution. Now, the last exclusive Pokemon that you can find in Honey Trees. Oh boy. This one. It's Munchlax. So, Munchlax, before we get into the Pokemon itself in general, Munchlax is very, very rare to find in this game. So, out of all the Honey Trees in this game, there are 21 in this game. Only 4 of them have a chance of having a Munchlax, and which 4 is determined by factors such as your trainer ID and other such factors. But once you know which 4 trees have a Munchlax, even then, you still have a 1% chance of finding it in those trees. So having to wait 6 hours for a 1% chance, oof. If you find a Munchlax, you are incredibly lucky in this game. Incredibly lucky. Of course, there are other ways to get Munchlax, such as just trading with someone that does have one, but if you find one yourself, you are very, very lucky. Anyways, Munchlax evolves into the Pokemon Snorlax. The family itself is known for being slow, but it is very, very bulky. Very, very powerful too. Has a lot of good physical power, a lot of strong physical moves that it could learn. Very, very good in that regard. It could even heal itself with moves like Rest, and even has moves to take advantage of the fact that it's asleep, such as Snore and Sleep Talk, although Snore really isn't anything to write home about. But the Munchlax family itself, very rare, very good, but I don't think it's worth the rarity. Although it is definitely something to brag about if you do find one. But yeah, Munchlax. To this day, I have never caught one in the wild in this game. For good reason. It's just a lot of time. But yeah, that's how hunting trees work. Personally, there are a few Pokemon, in my opinion, that are interesting enough to catch, like the Heracross. I was going to say the Heracross family, but it's only one Pokemon. And then the Apom family. And then other things, like if you want to fill your Pokedex up. But waiting for 6 hours, I'm not really a fan of. Oh well. Anyways, with that out of the way, we're almost done with this trainer battle, and I failed to just talk about this route in general. For some reason, I thought that there was like a ledge that had an item that we need to go through, which is why I skipped some trainers, but guess I was wrong. Also, that trainer with the Piplup was the first trainer that would have a Piplup if you, that doesn't count the rival or the player of the opposite gender that you picked. So, that's neat. Yeah, we're actually almost done with this route, so... Ooh, you know, one thing I forgot to actually make note of, actually... Oh, there's another Apom. It's actually that Aegeon learned a new move called Hidden Power. It's a very interesting move. I'm not going to use it right now, but even though it says it's a normal type move, interestingly enough, Hidden Power can never be a normal type move. It's a move that changes type and power depending on hidden variables called IVs. I'm not going to talk about IVs just yet, but that does factor into what type and how much damage Hidden Power will do. And there are ways of easily finding it out. I believe there's actually an NPC later on that will tell you the type that Hidden Power will be on each of your Pokemon. But I don't know. I guess I could just figure it out on my own until I do. Did I actually talk to this? Yeah, until I know what type it is, but yeah, maybe. Anyways, at the very least, all of these battles are making it so Aegeon is getting caught up in terms of levels. He's almost caught up with Genbu. Let me just fight you. No? Come on, fight me. Yeah, Genbu is level 21 right now, so only 3 levels away until Aegeon catches up, which is really, really nice. Then I could just alternate between them depending on what I feel is more necessary. Let's see, you might actually knock out Aegeon with a physical attack. I don't know. I don't know how much damage this Machop could do, but I'm just going to play it safe just because, again, I do want Aegeon to get some experience from this. Oh. Okay, then. Let's just Razor Leaf the heck out of you. And I believe this is actually the last trainer for us to fight here? Maybe? You can use that move all you want. It doesn't really matter because you're going down. I could have just gone for an attack, but whatever. Anyways, that should be it. I want to say that's it. Is it? Let's see, put me in my place. Okay. Yes it is. So, this will take us to Eterna Forest. This is not a trainer. And there's many Poison-type Pokemon that make the Eterna Forest their home. So you should be careful. And this doesn't really lead anywhere. It leads to this area of the Eterna Forest that's sectioned off and we can't really go through. But more importantly, there's this house. This house is a little bit of a rest stop. Yeah, repels, they're useful if you want to keep wild Pokemon out, but yeah, if there's any Pokemon you want to find, then you're not going to find them with repels. And you're also, like I've said this before, you are throwing away experience by using repels. At least that's how I see it. Anyways, this is a rest stop, really, so just talk to this lady to heal your Pokemon up. And you're good to go to take on the Eterna Forest. But I'm not going to go through the Eterna Forest in this episode. I'm going to save it for the next episode. We actually... I mean, we only made it through Route 205, but we did manage to talk about the hunting trees, which is good, I guess. But next time on Pokemon Platinum, we're going to see what lies in store for us here in the Eterna Forest. It's a pretty big place, actually, so that's going to be fun. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time for some more Pokemon Platinum. Later!